Rob, I'm gonna start this. Why don't you give us a brief when you first started and how things were? It's like because say I was on board supervisors 20 years ago, so I know some broad strokes from back then, and then we can kind of progress and talk about your career and
Yeah.
what's changed.
So, over the period of since I was started as a junior member in 1986, and at that time, the fire service was still way behind in technology, and we were still, using equipment that was pretty well outdated, and equipment that, it as progressing, things like with computers and everything, you use a computer, 2 years later, you get a new computer. Things of that nature were really making progression, and the fire service wasn't. So when I first started, we still wore hip boots. We didn't have turnout gear, a complete set of turnout gear. I mean, I had equipment that was handed to me from the 1970s, early 70s. So we're 16, 17 years old in gear wise, and we were still using that type of gear. I will never forget it because I used to see old pictures of guys with the same gear with Polaroids back in the 70s. And I'm thinking, I'm still wearing that gear. But that was what was given to me. But you know what? I really wanted to be a fireman. And at the time, money was very scarce and there was not a lot of funding put in the fire department. I really didn't know at that time what funding meant to us. I just wanted to be a fireman. So it was just as I started learning in my career very early on and getting training and education, I realized that we were behind the eight ball, very much so. And then as time started progressing, the fire service started catching on to technology and things really have progressed so fast now. I mean, the fire service, there's things changing every day right now for us. So, but I just seen us come from that staple of just no definition of growth within a period of about 40 to 50 years in technology. And equipment was still very old at that time. I mean, we were still using fire apparatus 40 plus years old. So it was a, big wake up call because as things progressed and we got to see exactly how things were making our job better, it was an eye opening experience.
Robert, quick question, and Cindy's gonna echo on this question. Let's take Southwest Virginia. How many paid departments are they compared to rural? Because she's coming from Bristol, Virginia, and maybe you can give us that kind of breakdown.
Yeah. Basically, you have, three components of delivery of service. You have full career, which is like the city of Bristol, Roanoke City, and Virginia. Those are the only two that's really close to us that is full career. Then you have the combination departments like Chilhowie, Withville. I think maybe Withville now is fully career, but that's a wholly new developed. I don't know if they're fully combination or fully career, but in our area, you have several departments that are combination, like Appalachia, for instance. We're a true combination department, which now most of our personnel are paid employees. We got 13 paid employees and with very minimum volunteers. But what drives this is the introduction of EMS. And so the more and also the amount of call volume you have, plus, the dynamics of your community. But what happens most of the time is when when you start taking on the EMS element of things, it changes the whole dynamics of how you operate. EMS drives 90% of our calls, that's nationwide. When you take on that element, it creates more call volume naturally for your department, and then you have to have another set of skills such as EMT and paramedic, and that creates more money that you have to operate that organization. You have to have the facilities. You have to have more apparatus. You have more cost, more overhead, and then your insurance. All these factor into cost. Um, this is something that we see occurring now in Southwest Virginia as departments are consolidating and taking this element on, but it's a huge undertaking. When we took it on in 2014, we had no idea of the amount of cost and all the things that go along with that to develop an organization to become fire-based EMS. And it's very costly, time consuming, and you got to have the people in play that know how to make it work or it's
Yeah.
going to fail.